A leadership researcher gave a TED Talk in 2009 that has now been watched more than 65 million times. It's one of the most watched TED Talks in history. His central insight was simple. Most of us spend our entire days answering what we're doing and how we're doing it, and almost never ask why. Question 2 of the 7 mindful questions is the why, asked gently, neutrally, with no self-attack underneath. Welcome back. I'm Dr. Lisa, and this is Science-Backed, Soul-Supported, Day 2 of 7 in 7, the free challenge. Yesterday, we opened with question 1, aware. What am I doing right now? And today is question 2. We take the second step down into the because. Yesterday, we put the knife down, well, it was really a peeler, and asked, what am I doing right now? Question 1 opens the door. Question 2 walks through it. Because. Why am I doing this? The science I want to bring in today is from Sinek. He's a leadership researcher whose 2009 TED Talk, How Great Leaders Inspire Action, has now been viewed more than 65 million times, making it one of the 3 most watched TED Talks in history. His central observation is shockingly simple, and it lines up almost exactly with question 2. Most people and most companies spend their time answering what they do and how they do it, and almost no one stops to ask why. The why is the engine. Without it, the what and the how run on momentum, on habit, on whatever people around you wanted you to do 20 years ago, and you never re-examined it. Here's what I want you to hear about question 2. The why in the 7 mindful questions is not the harsh, cross-armed, courtroom why. The why that says, why on earth are you doing that? As a sentence of judgment. That's not question 2. That's self-attack, pretending to be inquiry, and it honestly doesn't produce true answers that are really in touch with how you feel. Question 2 is a neutral why, the same tone of voice you would use with a curious child, the same tone of voice you would use with somebody you loved who you wanted to actually understand. Why am I doing this? In the book, I wrote a list just to show you how plain it can be. Here's the list. I'm getting the car fixed because the air conditioning is broken and I'm uncomfortable. I'm applying lotion because I like the way my skin feels afterwards. I'm meditating because I need peace and clarity. I'm walking Oshi, my dog, because she needs to go outside and I'm responsible for her well-being. I'm brushing my teeth because I like how my mouth feels and I want good oral health. I'm applying sunscreen because I don't want skin cancer again. Some of these are pulled towards something good. Others are pushed away from something bad. Both are purposeful. All behavior is purposeful. Now, here is where the question gets sharp without being cruel. Sometimes you ask yourself question 2 and you don't have a because. You ask, why am I doing this? And the answer is, I have no idea. And that's not the failure of the question or yourself. That's the question doing its actual job. Because if you don't know why you're doing it, one of 2 things is true. Either you're doing something for an old reason that no longer applies. The meal you cooked for 2 teenage boys who left home a decade ago. The report you still file for a manager who retired. The relationship you still tend on a schedule that no longer fits anyone's actual life. Or are you doing it to avoid something harder? The clean the junk drawer thing. Avoidance is one of the most common becauses on earth. Scrolling because I don't want to feel what I would feel if I put the phone down. Working because I don't want to look at the part of my life that's not working. Eating Eating something crunchy and salty, as I admitted in the book, I'm stressed and I would rather chew than feel it. None of that is a moral failure. All of it is information. Question 2 reveals the engine underneath the action. The ebook line I'll say out loud again is this: when you direct, why am I doing this? Internally, gently, without self criticism, you can begin to see where your current actions are aligned with your personal core foundation and where they're not. Revealing the motivation behind the action can lead to a profound reprioritization. The first time I did this exercise, honestly, I sort of winced. And over the next 10 times, I began to wince less. Now, it's one of the most useful questions that I have. Question 2 is also the doorway to care, which is tomorrow. Once you have a because, or honestly, the absence of one, the next step asks whether the because is worth your one life. That's the third step down. Today, we just want the because itself out of the subconscious into the conscious with kindness. Today, here's your challenge. 5 times spread across the day, finish this sentence out loud or on paper. I am doing this because, and what the reason is. And it's similar to those examples that I gave you a few minutes ago. No judgment, no editing, just the raw because. And notice the ones that feel solid and the ones that feel hollow. Notice the ones where you don't have a because at all. The honesty is the practice. The Power of 7 workshop is where we run all 7 questions together in real time with a community walking the same staircase. 4 Wednesdays starting on June 10th, 8 days from today. The workshop link is in the description. If today gave you a useful interruption, hit the like, drop a comment. I read every single comment. And comment because you caught yourself running on this week. And share with someone whose life is full of what's and hows, but very few whys. WHYS, which will lead you to WISE wise. Tomorrow, question 3 is care. This is day 2 of the 7 in 7 free challenge. Join me tomorrow for more great information. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, do all the things. I'm Dr. Lisa.